Hello, hi, Rohit. Today we'll be talking about Cloud Run and Cloud Function. So, meanwhile, a couple of
Yes.
things I would like to I'd like to discuss, like how we can find out the product. So, Google Cloud, any product, if you will find out. So, like you just type Google and then Google Cloud product, Google Cloud product. So this is the theoretical point of view. What you can do, just search, and there is a you can find out this is one option. And let me my demo one. Let me use my demo tools so that it would be very helpful to identify. Here you can see this is the one which I am talking about, right? So once you click here in product, then
Okay.
in the left hand side, each and every product list will display, right? Then for example, we are talking about some application site developer product, right? Then just we are talking about the compute product, just click on compute. Then here you can see this is the list of compute which Google is providing, right? So
Okay.
today we are talking about Cloud Run and Cloud Function, right? So first of all, let me explain a little bit about the Cloud Run. What is Cloud Run? So Cloud Run is a fully managed environment for running container app. Container based app we can deploy in Cloud Run, right? And we are just saying it is a serverless. Serverless is nothing but server is managed by cloud vendor. I mean Google. Only we
Okay.
have to focus on our code and deploy it, right? So
Hmm.
here one option you can come through the compute. Other option there is a option called serverless. Serverless computing. This option is also, so here we'll talk about cloud function and cloud run, right? Cloud function
Right.
and cloud run. So cloud run, as I explained, this is a container based application which we can deploy, something like Kubernetes. In backend it is Kubernetes, right? Everything will be managed by cluster wise. Then we don't worried about our container, sorry, we don't worried about our infrastructure will be managed by Google. Only thing we have to focus on the cloud. Then same thing like cloud function is a this is also serverless computing. The infrastructure will be managed by Google. Only thing is that some event driven function, I mean the cloud function, you just write the function logic and apply for your activity. The piece of code whatever you written, that will deploy, then it will work, right? But how it will work and all these things, let me tell you. So here, so cloud run, this is one way to study the cloud run. Just click on cloud run. First I'll discuss about cloud run, then I'll go back to the cloud function. So here, this is
Okay.
cloud documentation which is streamlined by Google. Cloud Run deploys scalable container apps written in the any language like Go, Python, Java, Node.js, .NET, and Ruby. It's a fully managed platform, right? And this is the three important guide which you can follow, like how you can deploy a container-based application, and where is the source code for practice, and database migration, I mean nightly report and base data transformation of cloud run job. These are three main area which we can focus, that I'll discuss little bit when I'll take action on the practical things. But let me discuss couple of the features. Like what are the features that we make sure you have to remember that, and you have to go through the details. Any language, any library, any binary, it is your choice, you can deploy. But the prerequisite is required to little bit know more about the container workflow, right? And the pricing model, pay for use, whatever you'll pay will use for that. So view all feature, you'll click, then the list down is here. Enhanced development experience with there is some integration tool. We are using cloud code and cloud build. Cloud build is nothing but is a DevOps tools which will help us to build the code. Cloud code is nothing but to write the code, something like for your for example, I am a developer, right? For most of the time I am using Visual Studio Code. So this is also similar
Okay.
kind of Visual Studio Code, that is called cloud code. Google Cloud is there is tool which is providing to developer, that is called cloud code, right? Then it is a
Right.
fully managed and per instance concurrency. uh, 1000 concurrent request can be placed for each container instance. I mean, you can little bit you can understand the concurrent request whenever any interaction is happening with a application, right? then
Right. Right.
then for first auto scaling, it is the because why we are moving to cloud transformation or digital transformation, why we are moving to cloud, because of auto scaling. Auto scaling is managed, right? So automatically scale up and scale down will happen, you don't worry about that, right? This is one of the best
Right.
part. And there is no depending on traffic. Traffic can be managed, I mean, also you can the number of traffic you can split. You can 100% also, you can put some percent of your workload to a particular traffic. So that I'll explaining little bit more about when we'll do the practical. Then the redundancy. Redundancy also it is supported, right? And cloud service are
Right.
regional. It is a regional, regional and global, right? And zonal,
Right. Correct. Correct.
and automatically
We are just
replicated
starting with.
across the multi-zone. Automatically replicated across the multiple zone, right? Then if I'll talk about the security, there is secret manager and binary authorization. So what is secret manager and what is binary authorization, that I'll this is the security part. I'll discuss when I'll discuss about the security part. Then at the storage point of view, like this is also 32 GB ephemeral storage within a memory file system, and connect to the network file system, like file store or cloud storage. That is, I mean, storage also I mean, it is automatically recommended, and it is automatically scale up and scale down. And integrated logging and monitoring, I mean, monitoring and logging all itself inbuilt. We should not configure the extra monitoring and logging, it is inbuilt. So out of the box integration with cloud monitoring and logging, cloud tracing and error reporting, all these in place. This is not required to set up in addition to some other steps is not required to set up. And the web traffic, because mainly we are whenever we are deploying any application, so traffic and service, mainly we will focus on the service and traffic. So whenever expose the service publicly to receive web request, so that also there is some web traffic management, something like our general life. Suppose in the particular road, here is one traffic, then in this traffic we can go
Mhm.
here, we can go here, you can go here. So like that, the web service request also we can manage through the split or traffic wise, like for example, couple of thing I want to run in this particular way, couple of thing I want to run in this direction, couple of thing I want to run in this direction. So likewise we can manage our web traffic, right? Then the asynchronous event, so we can set up trigger receive events as this is purely the serverless product. As you know, the already explained the what is serverless. And portability, https url, so each cloud run service get the out of the box stable https endpoint and tls termination handle for you, that it is not the bottleneck for you, like everything will be managed. And it's a custom domain. For example, after deployment you want to configure the domain, because whenever you are after deployment you want to configure with your domain, and then you are mapping with your load balancer, right? So map your service to your own domain. For example, you have a domain, so you can customize that. That is one good option. Then http 2 WebSocket and grpc, so all these facility like http 1 http 2 WebSocket, all the I mean all these concept which is integrated with cloud run, right? So whenever we'll discuss about the practical, I'll discuss little bit more about that. But the what is the free and what is we have to pay for that, right? So pricing like cpu memory and request, for example million of request, then how much you have to pay, what memory you are using, what you have to pay, and what the cpu using, what you have to pay. And the always free, this is vcpu second per month, this is free. This gb second per month, this is free. 2 million request per month, this is free, right? So this is the pricing model. And cloud run easily integrated with the variety partner technology. These are the company, they are partner with cloud run, right? So this is the basic overview which I explained, but generally cloud run we can build and deploy for scalable containerized app written in any language, and that's a fully managed platform. This is the main. If someone will ask in your interview what is cloud run, so make sure you don't forget to say this is a managed service which we can build and deploy scalable containerized app, which we can written in the language can be Go, Python, Java, Node.js, .NET or Ruby. Don't forget to mention all these things. This is a fully managed platform, right? This is the starting point to learn the Google cloud run, right? And if you
Right.
want to learn something little bit more about Google cloud, video also released like 1 minute video, like what is cloud run and all these things also you can learn little bit more about that. Right now I'm just going to show you in the practical in action, so how in console how we are deploying the code and all these things. And now let me quickly show you, right? So what I'll do, deploy your website on cloud run. How to do that I'll show you now, right? So let me quickly start the lab. This lab generally is required to play the lab. I mean some credit is needed, 1 credit is needed to play this lab. So let me open every time the best practice to open in incognito mode, right?
Okay.
Then I'll click on next, then copy the password which is the virtual password which generated for us to play this lab. Let me put that, and based on the lab instruction we'll follow the process, right? So
Right.
this is my Google Cloud console, right? So what I'll do, I'll follow the process. First, task number 1, clone the source repo. Task number 1, clone the source repo, right?
Source repository.
Source repository, yes. And the architecture diagram, every deployment, every whatever you are going to do in the Google Cloud platform, there is some architecture, right? So now let me
Right.
explain the architecture. This is the developer. For example, you, me, and uh, we are a
Okay.
developer. Then we are using maybe Cloud Shell. And what is Cloud Shell? Do you know? I think Cloud Shell we are talking about. This one is Cloud Shell. Whenever you in this console on the top right, active Cloud Shell, just click on that. This is the we are talking about. This is Cloud Shell. So Cloud Shell is one of the virtual machine. It is a virtual server which is Google
Okay.
providing
Mm-hmm.
to play something with along with the Google Cloud platform. This is one of the server which is enable for us to perform any activity for Google Cloud platform. So only you just remember that Google Cloud Shell, it is a virtual VM. It is a VM Google providing us to play around along. I mean, how we can control the Google Cloud platform, how we can set up Google Cloud platform, how we can interact with Google Cloud platform. This is one of the source and the best option which we can uh, play with or connect with Google Cloud platform, right? So let me come back to the architecture diagram which we are talking about. Okay, this is the architecture diagram. So I think you know what is the cloud cell, right? So now
Right.
now let me tell you the process. So whenever you write
Mm.
the code or something, right, so that you are writing in cloud cell first. I mean, some different process is also involved, but for this lab we'll follow the cloud shell. What are the activity will be performing through the cloud shell. Then cloud run will help us uh, to CI, continuous integration, I mean deploy the code into the source repo. Source repo is nothing but it's like a GitHub, GitLab. The Google is
Right.
providing one of the version control that is called cloud source repository. I hope you
Source.
understood.
Right. Right. Understood.
Okay, so now whenever you, after code is pushed to the version control, then through the cloud shell will I'll deploy the code into the cloud run, right? So imagine that your what is your cloud shell? Cloud shell, this one is your cloud shell, right? Through cloud shell will deploy the code into the cloud run. Cloud run is
Mm.
a product
Okay.
or service, right? Then cloud run platform managed on the backend, that is called GKE. You can see there is small word written
GK.
GKE. In the Google data
Yes.
center, it is managed by GKE, but it is not visible to you. This is the core concept which I am telling you, right? Only
Right.
you will be getting one URL that will play around it, but in the backend that would be something like GKE. GKE I already explained in little bit in high level, right, in our previous class, right? So if you can correlate about GKE, how what the structure of GKE, what is worker node,
Right.
what is master node, how the GKE work is functionally working on it. All these things I had explained in my previous class, right? So you can also,
Right.
if you not able to recollect all these information, maybe you can review the previous class. So maybe you can get little bit more about more idea about that, right? So now,
Right. Right.
what you will learn in this lab? This is the fourth thing which you are going to learn. How to build a Docker image in cloud, build and upload the artifact registry. Do you know what is artifact registry? Do you know what is artifact registry? Rohit, are you there? Rohit, are you there?
Hello, Vishwanath.
Yes.
I am here.
Okay. So
I'm audible?
yes, now you are audible. Maybe there is some
Okay.
network glitch happen, right? So do you know
Right, right.
what I was asking? Do you know artifact registry?
No, no. I forgot.
Oh, okay. So let me show you the artifact registry. What is artifact registry? Little bit explain about that as well. Any product, right? You can search here, or you can through the navigation menu, and through the navigation menu also you can find out. So here you just click on artifact registry. It's a universal built artifact management, right?
Right.
Some of the application package, some application you can store, docker image you can store. So artifact in our generally we can say, have you worked with Nexus, one of the JFrog, Nexus? These are all the
No.
repository to store the package or store the application, store the docker image. So this is called artifact registry, right? So for example, you
Mm.
want to learn something little bit about the artifact registry, there is a learn button, you just click over there. Overview of the artifact registry to store the artifact and build dependency as part of a integrated Google Cloud experience,
Google.
right? Set up artifact registry npm repository and upload a package, right? These are the, for this we are using artifact registry. I hope you understood, right?
Right, right. Understood.
Okay, so now move on to the yes. Then how to deploy Docker image to Cloud Run, how to manage Cloud Run deployment, how to set up a endpoint for the application on Cloud Run. So these are the four important things today we'll learn, right? First, setup and
Yes.
requirement. Setup and requirement, what you will do? First, you log in, and then this is the basic command to check the auth list. Auth list will check like what are the ID you are using here. This is the auth list, and once you hit this, then here you will see this is the account which we are using for this lab, right? So this is the account ID, and the project which we are working through this is the project ID, right? So now I confirm and also this is the command config list. This is the
Right.
one command which you have to remember. uh, gcloud config list project, what it will show, it will show which project you are in, right? So it will show the which project you are working, because in production, in UAT, in development, 100 project you are working, but which project you are. So to check this quickly, how you can check, right? So now the task number one, the clone the
Right.
resource repository. This is the public available code which we can clone with our and cloud shell. So I think you know how to clone the code and all these things. This is the basic thing, right? This code I clone, and let me check.
Yes, yes. I know. I know.
This is the code I just download from the public, right? And all the code, if I want to check the code details, so how to do? So that one also let me show you here. Here you click an open editor, then you can show the code inside the editor. What are the code, I mean graphically you can show. And last time also I had already explained how to show the code and how to play around cloud shell. Do you remember that? Last time also I had already explained about how to open the terminal, how to show the code, all these things, and it's like similar kind of Visual Studio Code. Last time already explained about this. Hope you remember.
Right, right. I know.
Okay, all right.
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right then.
So, Vishnath, I'm audible, right? I'm audible to you, no?
Yes, yes, you are audible now.
Hello, Vishnath.
Yes, you are audible. Can you
Okay.
hear me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you properly. Actually, I think there is some issue in my headphone. So that's why I. Okay.
Maybe. Okay, so now we'll just click on setup.sh. So before I want to hit in setup.sh, I want to show what is the code inside the setup.sh. So I hope you have little bit idea about the shell script.
Yes, yes, I have idea.
Okay, all right then, perfectly fine. Now we'll check the setup.sh. What are the steps are there? We'll check. So it is initializing our Cloud Shell editor, right? So open a new window. Okay, so now it's open and this is my folder, and now I want to check the setup.sh, right? This is my shell script and the steps, all the steps already mentioned. First it will check the required npm version, then it will install. This is the command to install the npm, and then setting a nvm, then export my directory variable and load the nvm. This is the simple application, node.js application. All the prerequisite we need to install and all these things, like how we can install I mean in this setup, how multiple folder, how we are calling and installing all these things. This is my monolithic folder, this is my microservice based folder, this is my react app installation, this is my npm run and build, right?
Welcome. Yes.
This is the
Right, right.
this is the piece of setup.sh. The whole things will be managed through whatever the code here, whatever the folder, microservice folder, whatever the monolithic folder, what is the react app folder, all
React
these
app.
three folders through managed through the setup.sh shell script, right?
Right, right.
Now that activity which will perform here. So let me come back to the editor. Just open the terminal and hit into, just paste here and hit press enter. Then all the process will happen, right? Checking for the required npm version here. Then once checked, then set up the npm and completed, updating the node.js version, installing the latest node.js version. All these activity is up and running right now, as you can see, right?
Right, right.
So this is the prerequisite, like whenever you are after writing the code, then how you can deploy. So through cloud shell, how you can deploy the application, this is the process. Have you worked with any node.js application?
No.
Okay, so this is one of the sample one. I mean, just I wanted to show here how we can deploy any application to cloud run, right?
Right, right.
But make sure that you'll remember we can only deploy the container based application in cloud run. For container based application, what is required? Docker file is required to create a Docker image. So this is the Docker file. through which we can create a Docker image. That process will be complete through my shell script. Hope you understood, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right then.
Right, right.
So now let me quickly check. As you can see, my creating the optimization production build. So everything is up and running. So let me open a duplicate tab and check what the process is going on. Generally it will be building through cloud build. Cloud build is a DevOps tools, right? It's a continuous integration and delivery platform tool. Similarly, in our on-prem, some tools we are third-party tools you are using, as you know, Jenkins. I think you know a little bit about Jenkins.
Right, right. Jenkins, I know Jenkins.
So similar kind of product Google launching, that is called cloud build, right? So now let
Right, right.
me check the process. Yes, now the installation, I mean the shell script, all these prerequisite and all these thing installed. Now move on to the next steps. So what is our next steps? Next step to go to this folder and we'll start the service. So let me quickly copy this command and go to this folder, and this folder name is monolithic, and then I just start the service. Now how we'll check the service is working or not? So this is the process. This is the preview button. In this preview button you'll just click on preview button, then one option will come, preview on port number 8080.
On port.
Where is that? Let me show you. This is the button is talking about, right? So here you just click on web preview, then the option is coming, preview on port 8080. Just you click on that.
Right, right.
Then your application already deployed. Now we can see my application already deployed. Where? In Google Cloud Run. So let me quickly show you the open the Cloud Run. Cloud Run. Just click on Cloud Run, and here no, I'm sorry, because we have not deployed as of now, right? What we did, we just deploy the code in my local laptop.
Preview.
Preview, right? Just we are watching the preview, but as of now we have not deployed our code into the Cloud Run, right? This is the code which is up and running in this the machine I was talking about. This is a Cloud Shell machine. Okay, let me.
Yes, external through means
Yeah.
we are able
So
to see the
this is the VM.
right?
This is one of the VM.
Yes.
And this VM is a Cloud Shell. In Cloud Shell, will install prerequisite codes are also here. So here we just deployed and see through the preview whether my application is working properly through the 8080 port or not. I mean locally I am testing. For example, think about in our .NET, whatever the .NET application we are developing, we are testing in our local laptop, right? So similarly here also I tested my application in my local laptop, right? Okay, now you are clear, right?
And when we are sure like everything, yes, sir. So like Vishnath, here we can check like our application is working fine or not. Then we can move it on main URL, right?
To main product where we are going to deploy. What is our target? Our target to build our application in server. Server is who is our what is our server? Server is our Cloud Run, right? So imagine in this way, in locally it is successfully working. Now I am moving to deploy my application to my server. So what is my server? Cloud Run is my server, but server will be managed by
Right.
Google. I'll only focus on my application and all these things. I'll focus on that area. That's it, right? So now our
Right.
next part to deploy the code into the Cloud Run. Just I'll just press the Control C, then it will cancel, right? Now I'll
Right.
create a Docker container with Docker build. This is the real step which will follow to deploy my application to Cloud Run, right? So the first steps to create a Docker container with cloud build. So what the process I need to follow? First I navigate to the repository, then create a repository.
Artifact repository.
Then repository name should
Right.
be
Right.
monolithic demo, right? So where I'll go to the repository, artifact repository, where I was showing you here. So click, just you can click on create repository, right? Here the name of the repository would be monolithic demo,
Monolith.
right? And
Demo.
what we are going to do, we are going to dockerize the application, right? So for now we'll select the
Right.
Docker, but some other option is also available. You will keep in mind. For example, someone is from Java background or Node.js or Python background, so Go backgrounds. So the other package also, the option is here, we can select, but for now we'll select Docker, right? Then choose the Docker and click create. Just choose Docker and click create. And you can also, there is a option like region and multi-region. It's a by default put the region for now because it's a demo, and so we can select any region for now. Region also already selected, so maybe I let me select US Central one and let me create. So now my repository name is created. Then configure the authentication. So how I'll authenticate? So this is the command to authenticate. So in Cloud Shell, I have to run this command to authenticate. So this is the command gcloud auth configure docker US Central 1, and this is the location where the package will reside. So let me authenticate. Do you want to authenticate? Do you want to continue?
Yes.
Yes. So now my Docker configuration file updated, right? So now configuration done. Deploy the image. So how to deploy the image? So for that we need to enable the API. So API is the one of the vital role in this cloud. Every service, whenever you are going to play, you have to enable the API service, right? So artifact registry API, now I am going to enable that. So this is the gcloud command to enable the artifact registry APIs. Now successfully enable. Now this after the API are enabled. Now my API already enabled. Then what next I'll do? Run the following command to start the build process. So this is the gcloud command to start the build process. So as soon as I put this command here, so because my code is in place and my project ID is here, so everything is in place, right? So now
Right.
once I hit this command, what will happen? Let me show you in the console. So in console, here the action will be display here. This is the cloud build. So that command which I put to take the action through cloud build to continuous integration, I mean fetch the Docker file, then create the Docker image. All this activity will be done through cloud build. So let me quickly refresh, and as you can see, this is the action which is up and running. Action is going on. So in this action, what is happening? Fetching the Docker file, creating the Docker image, and post the Docker image to the artifact registry. So we'll quickly show here also. After completion the process, as we can see here, my Docker image will be placed here. Here my Docker image will be listed here. Here as I can see, after the process completion, my Docker image I can able to see here, right?
Okay, right.
So this process is now still continue, and in console you can see the activity is going on, right? My Docker successfully building, and whatever the process is required to create a Docker file, and successfully done. So now quickly refresh here to check my Docker image. You can see this is the just now time. As you can see, just now one Docker image created and put into my artifact registry. But what the activity, who perform all these activity? My cloud build. All these activity performed by cloud build, right? So let me show you the logs. This is the logs which you can see. What are the activity was up and running? These logs you can check here, and done. I hope you understood.
Okay, so like if during this process, if my build is failed, so then actually we can trace the error here.
Yeah,
cloud build, right?
exactly. If something wrong happen, the logs we can check here, and again rebuild. Everything like we can perform through here. There is an option called rebuild. And
So
also
one question here, Vishnath, like suppose I deployed my application on Google Cloud, okay? So next time actually there is only one file change, right? So can we deploy the site for the like whole process, or can we replace only that file?
only the whatever you are going to change, that will I'll just keep in change. Then after changing the whatever you are going to change, then after that just click on whether you are following. Okay, let me tell you some process. There is a trigger option. You can see, if you will trigger your code, whatever the code you have written, if you will complete that trigger process, then you no need to manually run all this process. Once updated in your code, so the process will be happen automatically. For example, you in your main application, I change something right here, but if you configure the cloud trigger, it will automatically trigger and process will start automatically. But here what we did, we just manually execute one of the gcloud command to run this. Okay, let me come back to the gcloud. Okay, let me show you that one. Where was the process which you are following? Here only, I think. Yes, yeah. So as you can see, what command will use to build all these things. So this is the gcloud command, submit tag, and our docker image path, and the which project, and the what are the code, and this is the monolithic demo. There is a code is here, as you can see. Okay, let me quickly see. Yes, monolithic app. This is the folder. This is this one. This is one monolithic folder which we have written all this logic, right? So that logic will
Right,
pull
right.
through our script. The As you know, the combination of the flow of writing the code, because each profile is dependent with the some other profile. So in our code we have written in such a way that one of the profile is dependent with the other profile. So but when I executed this, okay, let me quickly show the gcloud command which we are trigger. This one, okay, yeah, here this command, this is the one piece of command. Whole process will trigger in the backend. What will happen? First it will create a docker image, then store into the artifact. So but the google cloud build Google Cloud Build. This is a tool. This is the tool which was working in the backend to fetch the Docker file, to process the Docker file, to create the Docker build, and all these things is created, then push into that Docker image to the artifact. This process is called continuous integration. Now we are going for continuous deployment. I mean, how we can deploy the docker image. Already docker image ready. Now we are going to deploy into our server. So this is the process, and this is the process like how we can see all this summary and all this, as I already explained. And quickly check the progress. Yes, the created docker container in the google through the google cloud build. Through google cloud build we are created the docker container, right? That
Right.
process is completely done. Now we are coming to deploy the container to cloud run. This is our next
Third task.
task, right? So
Hmm.
what we'll do for that, this is the another gcloud command, but the other option also available to deploy, but through gcloud command we can deploy the docker image which is in place, like already in the artifact registry. So let me quickly come back to the cloud shell and use that command. Let me delete the previous one and then put the command which we can uh, apply for the code deploy. I mean, how we can deploy. This is the gcloud run deploy. The run deploy which will help us to fetch the docker image. Where it will fetch the docker image, tell me?
Artifact. Artifact
From
registry.
artifact, yes, from artifact the
Yes.
image will fetch, then it will deploy into the cloud run. So let me quickly hit uh, into this particular command and quickly see. Okay, are you authenticated the invocation of this monolithic? Yes. So now my docker image is deploying into where? Cloud run.
Run.
Here this is the target. Our target product is cloud run, right? So now deployment is going on. So that part is also will check quickly. Just I'll refresh. Here I can see the history. Just click on dashboard. Okay, so the deployment is going on, right? Through the cloud run it is deploying. And here we can see, let me refresh. Here you can see the reflection, whether the deployment is already started or not. You see deployment
Right. It
started,
started.
right? So this is our target, our code. Now finally we are docker image we are deploying into cloud run. So the deployment is in process. So once completed we'll check, right? So as you can see in cloud shell, the process is going on. The
It taking
deploying,
time, huh?
yeah, okay.
It taking time
No,
actually.
no, no, it's not like that because we are deploying in USA. Our data center is US,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm in
Okay, understood,
India, so
understood.
it will take some time. If I'll choose India region, then it will quickly deploy.
Correct, correct.
So now my application is deployed and generated one service. Service is nothing but one URL. Provide me. I can check my application as you can see. Whatever we are locally we tested, that application also we can test this application in up and running in my cloud run. So
Cloud run.
here also we'll click on monolithic based application, right? This is the URL generated for us, right?
And we can also change. We can change this URL or not?
You can customize the URL.
Okay.
You can customize
Okay.
it, right? And then
In a scripts file, right? In shell scripts, we can change this URL.
yes. So then, for example, some YML file we have written that will display like the URL. This is the URL, right? Which we are talking about.
Right. Correct, correct.
And then some security. What the security we can enforce. So you can enforce the number of security is required for my application. We can secure. What are the networking is required for my application? We can apply what the revision is required. For example, this is my first application, now I want to go to the updated one. I mean uh, I want to create my version 2 version 3, some after modification I want to deploy my another version of the code, then you can also add the revision of this version. You if you don't want to disturb with your previous application, first you want to
Mm-hmm.
deploy your application with the new URL which you can check your updated one. If your updated one is perfectly fine, then you can maybe stop or delete, right? So this option is also available. And quickly
Yes.
check the log here. Quickly check the logs. Quickly check the
Okay.
logs here. What the process is happening. All this product order because it's a monolithic based, right? And this is one single Docker image. But whenever we'll deploy for the microservice based, maybe number of images, number of service will create. This is a monolithic based application. And as you know, what is the difference between monolithic and microservice? I think you know very well, right?
Right, right. I know it.
Yeah. So then my application now up and running in my cloud run. As you can see, you cannot see any infra management. What is the CPU? What is storage? What is the environment? Only these are the couple of information for you, and this is the URL which you can access your application. That's it. Nothing else here. Everything will be managed by Google. What is the backend, I mean how database is interacting, how the things are managed in the backend, so everything is managed by Google, right?
Google.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
For example, I want to edit and deploy new version. Here is the option you can also do. Set up your continuous deployment. You can set up your continuous deployment through in an automated way. For example, your code in GitHub or your repository, you can mention and then you can build your code, right? This is the
Right, right.
automation process setup.
So this means like if any check-in is happened, sorry, any commit is happen in repository, then it automatically trigger the build, right?
Exactly, correct. For example, I want to fetch the code from source repo because Google inbuilt tool. This is cloud source repo. I can also fetch from Bitbucket.
Bitbucket.
I can also fetch from GitHub. There is also
Right.
supported option is available. So this is the
Yes,
way
yes.
which we can deploy or trigger our code to deploy in our cloud run, right? So this is the process. And now come back to the other options. Let me quickly check whether it is completed or not. Yes, for sure it is completed. So now just to check my cloud run service list, this is the command. Through gcloud command you can check your service list, gcloud run service list, right? and this is the URL last deployed, right? What time you deployed, which account through you deployed, all these things. Now create a revision with a lawyer concurrency. This is one modification. This is my another piece of code uh, to create a new verse revision. So how we'll do that? Let me everything what we are doing through gcloud command, but if we are talking about some automation part, already I explained how we can thing can be automated. That is also possible, because the best practice to follow the automation. Automatically everything will happen. If something change, it will deploy. If something will change, it will deploy. Will not it is
Yes.
not the manual step is not required, but for testing, because as we are a developer, so we use the gcloud command to deploy and check, right? So now
Yes. Right.
let me check my the another the revision one happen. The revision which we can check. Yes, here revision. Let me refresh quickly. Yes, so you can see just now my revision deployed. Can you see the just now?
Yes. Yes. Just now. Yes.
Now
Yes.
100% my revision is working, but my old one is also in place. If I want to switch back to my old one, that quickly I can switch back as well, right? Suppose I want to switch back to my previous one, that we can also manage traffic or manage revision URL. So this is the option through which we can, for example, my old one I want to delete. You can also delete. After
Delete.
testing
Okay.
everything is working fine, then you can delete as well, right? But meanwhile,
Right.
if you
Right.
are not confirmed, then it is the best practice. You should not delete, right?
So can we enable both URL?
You can I mean manage the traffic split. For example, I want to this one also, I want to the traffic I want to 20% I want to uh, manage, and I want to save. So both will up and running.
Okay.
Can you
Yeah.
see
Understood.
the
Yes.
effect?
Yes. Now.
You
Right.
understood,
Right.
right? So now this
Yes.
is
Yes.
the whole process, and now we'll follow the next one. So this is the checkpoint which we can check and check the progress. I think everything is done. So now update the current revision using a concurrency values. For example, I want to use 80 concurrency. There is my product concurrency. I want to upgrade 80. Earlier it was something maybe 0. Now I want to update. So how to do that? In my through gcloud command it is happening, but in code also it will happen, or it can be in automated way also it can be happen. But let me check through the gcloud run deployment, and the meanwhile whenever we are deploying, the currency will be also changed. So the deployment is going on now. Let me quickly check how to check and all these things. Yeah, so just click on revision tab, then see most of the date information will check over there. So here in the revision tab there is a concurrency, yes, this one should be 80, right? So
Right.
now let me quickly refresh. As you can see, this is 80,
Right.
right? So now the this one also completed. Now make change to view the website. Okay, now make changes to the website. So for that we have already written some other code, and the process we need to follow, because code is already in place. We are just following the process, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let me follow the steps to complete quickly, because I have only 14 minutes. Okay, so now it's also already completed. Let me put the another command, go to that and npm command to run this build monolithic, creating the optimization production build. Yes. Now this process is started. Let's see. And then next I'll go for the version. For example, initially we are working with 1.00. Now after modification I'll go for 2.00, right? So
Right,
let
right.
me put 2.00, then it will deploy. And the 2.00 will check after the this is the integration part. It is not the deployment part, it is a integration part. So in integration part we'll check our cloud repository. The docker image should be 2.00. Here you can see the 2.00.
1.0. Right, right. So that thing is reflected into cloud build also, right?
No, this is our build is going first. It will create a docker image. Your updated code first will create your docker image, then the docker
Okay.
image will place into the artifact repository. Let me quickly refresh. Okay, you got it now. This is the
2.00.
2.0. Now whenever we'll deploy the new version for 2.00, so the 2 version should be different. So let me show you how it will do that. So here this is the integration part is done. Check make changes or completed. Now the update website with zero downtime. I mean my application is up and running, but whenever I
Right,
am
right.
going to deploy my updated one without downtime, how we can deploy? This is one of the best one in Google Cloud Platform, right? So let me deploy the 2.0. So now here my this image will fetch here. It will fetch from here, then deploy into my cloud run, right? So let me refresh. You can see the deployment is up and running or not. Let me quickly check.
So like zero downtime means our site is not down at the time of the deployment, right?
Correct. So now you can see just now deployed my updated one.
Hmm.
Can you see that?
Yes, yes.
But this one is the updated one. So let
Right.
me quickly check. If I go to this URL and I'll check, for example, this is my updated code to verify, for example. So you can check,
Mhm.
yes, my updated code and product is reflected over my product as well, right? For example, this product I newly added, so it will reflect here, right? So
Understood.
this is the things which you can learn today. And this is a updated one deployed, then service describe monolithic platform to verify the deployment. This is the one of the quick check, like how to check the deployment, all these things. So it's not required for now. For let me check quickly. So this is a describe to check all these things in the troubleshooting part, right? To describe in the console you can check everything, right?
Yes.
Which percent is 80%, 20%, right? And what are the memory use, which port is up and running, all these little bit information. If something to troubleshoot the issue, if something goes wrong, you can troubleshoot. Then
Right.
the service list, for example, this is the beta run service list. You can check this is the service URL. And successfully we completed this lab, and you can see this is 100% completed. And lot of thing we got to know today. Can you repeat the process what you learned today?
So we actually learned Google Cloud Build and Google Cloud Run, and then we actually done some exercise through to deploy a repository or to deploy a repository through this quick labs.
Exactly. Perfect. So these are the things which learned today, and I hope this is very helpful for you with your
Right.
day-to-day life. If you will be engaged with a Google Cloud project, if you will be working for any Google Cloud run to deploy the application, so it will be very helpful. And this is the whole process which I already explained, and what the process is in the backend exactly happening on the back end. No one will tell you what the process is happening on the back end. People will only explain about, hey, this is the cloud run, this is the option which is available, but the process on the back end, how the code is coming, where the docker image coming from, what the cloud build really working for us, all these things, like I just explained a little bit very clearly, right?
Right.
So today, I mean, this good, and I can wrap up this call. If you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I can wrap up this call.
Uh, that's fine. So Vishwanath, actually just share me the recording. Previously, last recording actually I did not receive.
Okay, okay, okay. Sure, I'll share with you the recording. Definitely. Yeah.
Sure, sure.